Hey, what's up guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist, and today I'm going to be doing an updated version of my Gravekeepers. Now this is a deck that has been a while since I updated it. I've had it sitting in a box in one of my deck boxes for a long time, and I pulled it out the other day and I went, man, I need to update that. So here we are. So this deck is a lot of fun, it's still playable, it's still a lot of fun. There's actually, with the new Solemn Judgment and stuff coming out, it's really fun, and I figured with Monster Reborn it would be really interesting to play Gravekeepers. So without further ado, let's get straight on to this, but don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think down in the description below, and don't forget to click that bell, guys, so you can become a part of the notification squad. When we dump out a new video, we can show you guys what we're doing. So anyways, guys, let's get straight on into this and see what I'm playing. So, first off, we're going to be playing 2 copies of Gravekeeper's Assailant. This card's effect is that when it declares an attack, while Necro Valley is on the field, you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls and change that target's battle position. Now, something to keep in mind about all of your Gravekeeper monsters is that just because they have a low attack value does not mean they actually have a low attack value, because Necro Valley makes them all gain 500 attack points, so that's something to keep in mind. So this will actually be 2,000 with Necro Valley. Then we play 1 copy of Gravekeeper's Heretic. This card actually does not gain attack points because this card is unaffected by all other cards on the field as long as Necro Valley is on the field. So your opponent, you can catch your opponent off guard with this card by normal summoning it and then them trying to like bottomless it or something like that if they don't know what Gravekeepers do. So he's your good first turn card because you can just normal summon him and he's unaffected by everything. So that's really good. Then you play 3 copies of Gravekeeper's Commandant. By the way, I have to say, he looks like Thief King Bakura. Like, totally looks like Thief King Bakura. Then we play 3 copies of Gravekeeper's Commandant. What you do with this card is you discard it to actually add a copy of Necro Valley from your deck to your hand. So it's like you're playing 6 copies of Necro Valley in this deck. He also becomes 2100 when he's on the field, and he's the only awkward one because he's an Earth monster, and the rest of them are all dark, which sucks to have him in the hand and think you have a dark and then activate a lure. But if you know the deck, you won't do that. Then I play 2 copies of Gravekeeper's Descendant. I need to get another ultra rare one so that this deck can be all pretty sparkly. Its effect is that he's kind of like Hand of the Six Samurai. You tribute 1 other face of Gravekeeper monster to target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy it. Really good card, really interesting, comes in when he's needed. And isn't there when he's not. So, really good card, and he becomes 2,000 on the board when Necro Valley's on the field. Then the star of the deck, in my opinion, is Gravekeeper's Spy. You can, when it's set and it's flip face up, you can special summon any Gravekeeper monster from your deck that's 1,500 or less attack. Really good card. Really good card. And when Necro Valley's on the field, it's got 2,500 defense, which is nuts. Really big too. So 3 Spy must in the deck, and I love these secret ones. They're awesome looking. 3 copies of Gravekeeper's Recruiter. Recruiter is when he's destroyed, or when this card you control is sent to the graveyard, you can add a Gravekeeper monster with 1,500 or less defense from your deck to your hand, which is basically any of them but Spy, which kind of sucks because you really want to search Spy. And then I play 1 copy of Gravekeeper's Nobleman. I'm thinking about bumping this up because when you control this card is destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 Gravekeeper monster from your deck and face down defense position, which is Spy. So you can get this destroyed. I'm thinking about dropping a Recruiter and putting in a 2nd Nobleman. I don't really know yet. I'm still playing around with the deck again. But I'm thinking about dumping out 1 for 1 and playing 2 and 2. But if you guys want to play test with that, tell me how it works out. But yeah, I mean, the deck works, but I'm thinking about doing that. Then I play 1 copy of Shaman. Gravekeeper Shaman is really good, and it's actually, you can special summon it off of Spy, which is the main way you're going to summon it. You don't want to tribute summon it. So what it does is that when this card gains 200 defense for each Gravekeeper monster in your graveyard, and you negate all monster effects that activate in the graveyard except for Gravekeeper monsters. While Necro Valley is on the field, your opponent cannot activate field spell cards. Also, field spells cannot be destroyed by your opponent card effect. So something to keep in mind about this card is that if you activate this and you're playing against like ABCs, they can't use their Union Hangers. They can't use Spiral Resort, all sorts of stuff like that. Diagram, like it just stops all of that. So it's really, really, really helpful to play one shaman, and it's able to be special summoned out by Spy. So that's when we play one copy of Shaman. So anyways, guys, that's it for the monsters. Let's get into the spells. Now, the traps is really where this deck excels because it's a control-based deck. The monsters don't get really, really, really big, so that's why we play not that many. So we play one copy of Raigeki just to kind of board wipe our opponent. Royal Tribute, which is still at 1. If you control Necro Valley, both players discard any monsters in their hands. Crazy, really, really good. Really nuts to drop against Burning Abyss while you have, what's it called? Necro Valley on the field. Really, really nuts. And speaking of Necro Valley, we play 3 copies of it, which in the OCG and the real version of it, it means Necro in, just means Spanish, or I think it's in Spanish. Necro means death, so it's just Death Valley. And all Gravekeeper monsters gain 500 attack and defense. And cards in either player's graveyard cannot be banished and negate any card effect that would move a card in the graveyard other than itself to a different place, which is crazy good. Necro Valley is amazing. I love this card. The artwork is beautiful on it. Great, great card. Then we play 2 copies of Gravekeeper Steel. This card's effect is that you can target 2 Gravekeeper monsters in your graveyard whose and add those targets to your hand, and this card cannot be negated by Necro Valley. It specifically says that. So it kind of lets you recycle the ones that get destroyed, which is why we don't play that many monsters in the deck, because we can just add them back with Steel. Then I play 3 copies of Pot of Duality, because we're mainly special summoning on our opponent's turn. So that's why I'm playing 3 dualities. It's still really good in the deck, and it lets you grab the exact trap that you need, which can kind of psych out your opponent too, because they know that you have that trap in your hand and you're going to activate it if they do the wrong thing. Then we play 3 copies of Allure of Darkness for the last spell cards. And that's pretty much it for the spells. Everything's dark besides Commandant, so you can banish anything, and it's not a big deal to banish 1 or 2 Gravekeepers. So that's why we're playing Allure. So that's it for the spells. Let's get straight on into those traps. Now the traps is, again, where this deck really excels. So we're going to play the Solemn Brigade, which is Solemn Judgment, Solemn Warning, and 2 strikes. Really deadly to play this because your opponent is not going to see a lot of this coming, a lot of the rest of the stuff. Then because Bottomless went to 3, we're playing 3 Bottomless in this deck because we don't want any summons at all. Like, at all with this. And if they do actually summon something, we're going to Storming Mirror Force them. And then for the specific Gravekeeper card, we're playing 2 copies of Imperial Tomb of Necro Valley. This card's effect is that when a spell or trap card or monster effect is activated while both a Gravekeeper monster and Necro Valley are on the field, negate the activation if you do destroy that card. So it's like playing another Solemn Judgment. Like, seriously, another Solemn Judgment. Or 2 more. And you're always going to have Necro Valley on the field. And you're always going to have a Gravekeeper. It's not going to not happen because you're going to protect them with all of this. And so, I mean, you're playing 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 traps in this deck. This deck is definitely a control deck. So that's it for the main deck. Let's get into the extra deck. I love this card, by the way. This card is crazy. And the artwork is just really eerie looking to me. Like, just super, super eerie. So for the extra deck, we are playing 1 copy of Master Key Beetle because everything in the deck is dark and you can make it besides Commandant. I know, it just drives me nuts. And you can detach a material from it to target a card on your field, except this card, and make it basically immune to being destroyed. And if this card's going to be destroyed, you can destroy that card instead. So you just target Necro Valley and protect Necro Valley from being destroyed by like MST and Twin Twisters. Then you play a Baguska to stall out your opponent and really just to control your opponent to get more traps face down. and more spies face down. 1 copy of Tornado Dragon to pop the spells and traps that you don't want to deal with. Honor Arc because you can steal stuff with it. Castel because you can spin stuff with it. Downward Magician, I know it's been a while since you've actually seen someone play Downward Magician, but we play it because everything's a spellcaster in the deck, so you can make it really easily, and it's piercing damage, and plus you can make it on top of Grand Pulse. If like you have Grand Pulse and you use the materials on it, you can make this and then attack them face down with it. And you have to detach a material from this card, which isn't that big of a deal. It's at least a 21 beater, so... Then we play for the level 3 or rank 3s. We play a Phantom Knight of Breaksword to pop stuff and a Grand Pulse. Then we play the Utopia package as well because we don't get a lot of big monsters in the deck. I mean, the biggest they get is like 2,000, so we want something to like push for game. So we play Utopia the Lightning, Utopia Prime, and Utopia itself to make Utopia the Lightning. And you don't need all this stuff, but it's just kind of utility. Then a Borreload because you can make it, and Borreload just ends games. A Deco Talker because you can make it. Proxy Dragon, again, you can make it. And then an Underclock Talker because it's becoming one of my new favorite actual extra deck monsters. Because once per turn, you can target a monster your opponent controls that this card... one face-up monster this card points to, and one face-up monster your opponent controls, and your opponent's target loses attack equal to the monster that it points to, which is crazy. And it makes it really, really, really a lot of damage. So anyways, guys, this is DarkArmedDuelist. I hope you enjoyed this deck profile. I really enjoyed taking this one. It's been a while since I actually updated this deck. It's a lot of fun because it's a classic deck. It's one of the first archetypes that was ever created. So really, really fun deck. But don't forget to check out the Patreon down in the description below. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to click that bell. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. See you around, guys.